Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I was ready to get down to business.
You're all business.
You're like pleasantries and things.
Yeah. Who cares about that? Let's talk about chargers.
Oh, let's do that.
Okay.
We have 3 different products to kind of talk about. I'm all charged up. Ugh. Ugreen sent us some of its newest products.
Yeah.
These are 3 different types of chargers for 3 different kinds of needs to kind of overlap with each other, and the other one is just its own little animal.
Sure.
Let's start with the lowest.
Okay.
I don't want to call it tier, but the one that is going to be more of the entry level needs.
Yeah, sure.
What do you got there, Luke?
So this is the RG 30 watt charger. It's the Ugreen RG, and this is a GaN fast charger. So that means it uses gallium nitride, which is a super efficient, clean energy charger. This little thing is Nexode Roboto. It looks like a little robot. So it's a little cube with a screen and some little feet.
Yeah, so this plugs into your wall.
Yeah.
And you would, most phones come with chargers now. And you plug it into the wall. You've got your little brick. Older phones are going to be maybe 15 watt, 18, maybe depending on how old you have. Could be slower than that or less powerful, I should say. This is 30 watt, so it's going to be pretty efficient stuff.
Yeah.
As you said, gallium nitride is one of the more emerging technologies.
Yeah.
Efficient. It knows what it needs to do in terms of charging.
Yeah.
Not going to...
Adaptable.
Yeah. So this guy, he looks like, when you're not using him, he just sits on your desk and looks like a little robot.
He's super cool.
And he's got like these legs that you pull almost like a sleeve off of.
Yeah, it hides the charging prongs.
Yeah.
But it's like little feet. And those are actually magnetic.
Yeah, so it kind of like bites.
Yeah.
As you go to put them on, it is like his pants pull up.
Yeah.
Kind of effect.
Right.
When you plug it in too, it makes a face on the display.
Yep.
And it will kind of change to let you know at a glance what your charging status is. So you can kind of look at it and say, oh, my phone must be just about full because that robot looks pretty happy over there.
Yeah.
So that's a 30 watt one.
Yep.
Which is for a lot of people more than enough for
absolutely
headphones, phones, wearables, different things that you
Chromebook, be no problem. MacBook Air.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's not a slow trickle charge.
No.
It is plenty.
Yep.
But there are going to be people who need more than that.
A little bit more.
It's like, hey, I want to make sure that when I leave, my Chromebook is charged up.
Yeah.
Or I want to charge this thing while I'm sitting here actively, and I also need to charge my phone.
Sure.
And maybe plug my watch in.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm home for a few hours. I need to take advantage of this.
I need to charge multiple things.
There is now also, or will be by the time you hear this, a 65 watt version.
Yeah.
Same stuff.
Yep.
Robot face. Now, instead of having a 30 watt USB-C port on top of it, this guy has 2 USB-C ports.
I love that.
And a USB-A port.
Hey.
So you've got 3
nice
that you can plug into.
Nice.
So it'll get up to 65 watts based off of what you need. Plug your cable in. That's also an important factor.
Yes.
You can't just grab that $8 one that you saw at the gas station. You want something, you can't take your old earbud cable and expect to charge your laptop with it.
Sure. Right.
So your mileage is going to vary based off of that. But for a little bit more demanding needs, that's going to be something that you might want to consider.
Yep.
Now, as of the time we record this, we don't have a price on it.
Right.
The 30 watt runs about $27.
Yep.
So I would imagine the 65 watt, put it at 40.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be more than $20 more than that.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, Ugreen does a really good job of keeping their prices in line with capabilities too. Yep. So I think that 65 watt, I'd be surprised if it's higher than $45.
Sure.
So those are two that you would say, okay, I get it. Now I'm very serious about my charging needs.
Right.
I have lots of devices that I need to charge on the go.
Yep.
I'm an on the go person, so I need to make sure everything's charged when I walk out of here. What do you have there?
Well, I have just the thing for you. So Ugreen also makes the Nexode 300 watt charger. This looks almost, I mean, it's not huge, but it's definitely bigger than most chargers you see. This looks almost more like a dock. It's got some feet on it to sit. It's got 4 USB-Cs and 1 USB-A, and this will do a combined up to 300 watts, depending on what you need to charge. And we're talking 3 full laptops at a time.
Yeah, so if you plug in one thing, by itself, you're going to get 140 watts out of the top of that. The one step down, those 2 middle ones will give you 100 watts each. The lowest USB-C will give you 45 watt.
Yep.
And then your A will give you 22 and a half.
Yeah.
This is essentially like having 5 of the best types of chargers you can get.
Yeah, because it's still the gallium nitride, still a GaN fast charger. I mean, this will cover anything that really, almost anything you're going to throw at it.
Yeah. I have in our house, between my wife, my son, and I, we've all got phones, we've all got tablets, we've all got Chromebooks. Depending on what we're doing, we have watches and different things that we'll plug in, Kindle, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes charging comes at a premium, having an outlet or access to an outlet.
Sure.
We have found that this guy works the best for what we're doing now because a lot of the things we plug in are USB-C.
Yes.
We've had some other ones that had more A with like 1 or 2 C's, but we were constantly pulling each other's thing like, hey, I need to plug my Pixel Watch in.
Yeah.
Can, take that out so I can plug this in? Well, I need to plug my Chromebook in.
Right.
This thing, we plug them all in, and we're all happy because it's super fast.
Yeah.
It's what we need.
Yeah.
And the USB-A is probably the only port we're not using now.
Sure.
Because everything that we happen to use in our house is now C.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is a little bit pricier. I mean, you're jumping up, we were talking about 26 for 30 watts.
Right.
So 10 times that amount is $269.
Yep.
So it's a little bit more of a purchase, but like you said, it's definitely going to get you, more probably power needs for almost your whole house, depending on, obviously you're not going to be able to charge everything at the same time.
Right.
But it has enough ports that you can charge 5 things at a time.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at a 65 watt charger by itself or a 100 watt charger, you could be getting into $50 easily for something like that.
Yeah.
So when you factor 3 of those,
sure.
If you have newer technology, you want newer cables, you want newer chargers.
Yep.
Just because you have that C cable from your first generation of phone that had that doesn't necessarily mean it's capable of handling that kind of power.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're a house that has a lot of people, a lot of devices, a lot of charging needs, you would be wise to consider an all-in-one kind of solution. But as you said, this isn't exactly something you just drop quick money on and you don't think twice about it.
No.
But if you've got a couple of students in your house that are plugging their stuff in at the end of the day, this is a great device. And you get a lot of cables now that are long.
Right.
And you can plug in and work from that.
Or if you travel for a living. I mean, you're stuck in a hotel and you have one plug. Well, guess what? This is going to charge everything on the road for you.
Yeah.
Or if you're living in a dorm room where outlets come at a premium usually, this is going to handle all your stuff.
Yep.
So, I mean, there are things out there now versus, plugging in an extension or, a power strip or something, then carrying 5 chargers with you.
Right.
You can just carry this.
Yep.
And it's going to get you covered. So, yeah, I mean, we're a big fan of Ugreen. They make quality stuff. It feels substantial when you hold their stuff. It's well made. It just works well.
Well, I think one of the words that I tend to use for certain things is intentional.
Yes.
They don't feel like they're afterthoughts. Everything feels intentional with their products. A couple of years ago, I wasn't even really familiar with them.
Yeah.
But I've seen so many different things from them over the last couple of years that consistently kind of impressed me. And then I kind of pay attention what other outlets are seeing product-wise and what they're saying about them.
Sure.
And I think this is one of those brands where maybe you haven't heard about them, but you should.
Yeah.
Definitely check them out. So these are 3 of its more recent products specifically for chargers.
Yeah.
So next out, RG, the Robot GAN, 30 watt, 65 watt. And then the big boy, the 300 watt. All right. That'll do it, Luke.
We did it. We talked about chargers.
For the first time ever.
Right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.